Hello student friends, good morning to you all. This is Mr. Rao. I come back today with a new concept in the lesson Human Health and Diseases. In our previous sessions, we discussed more detailedly about various types of bacterial diseases and causative organisms, and even the various types of viral diseases also. Today is the session in which I am going to particularly focus on the diseases that are all caused by the protozoans, which we in general used to call as protozoan diseases. These protozoans are the parasites, various in type, and they causes various types of diseases also. Let us see some of the protozoan diseases caused by the variety of the protozoans one by one. Of all these, the very important here disease caused by this protozoa is malaria. And might be some of you already might be suffered from this a lot. And many of the people throughout the world suffered from this malaria and died because of the disease also. Then another protozoan disease that is caused by this is amoebiasis. And this is also suffered a lot by the many people. And that is caused by a protozoan. Then another disease caused by this protozoa, it includes here trypanosomiasis. And thereafter the another one here it includes here leishmaniasis. These are all the four important diseases. Apart from that, we can see some more diseases caused by this. Giardiasis is one more protozoan disease. And next one here, balandiasis caused even by the protozoans also. And here the last one here is trichomoniasis. All these are the varieties of the diseases that are all caused by the protozoans. Some of the protozoan diseases we studied in the previous lesson, that is reproductive health, and under the heading of the sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections. In the lesson Human Health and Diseases, we are going to study some more diseases caused by the protozoan in a detailed way. So in this session, I will go with explanation of malaria in a detailed way, and thereafter trypanosomiasis, leishmaniasis, as well as amoebiasis. About all the diseases we will study in these sessions in a detailed way. Of all these four important types of diseases, let me concentrate particularly on malaria now. And it includes here the story behind the malaria and the history of the malaria, and thereafter the entire life cycle and symptoms, all the things. Before I get into the actual part of this malaria, I'd like to tell you an interesting story regarding this malaria in our history. In your schooling, when you study about a history, you might be definitely study about the Alexander the Great. He was a great warrior. He conquered many kingdoms, occupied most of the area in this world. That is the reason why he was well known as Alexander the Great. Do you know how he was died? Simple thing, the Alexander the Great was died because of the malaria. So we can say that here the great Alexander died because of a small mosquito that caused this malaria disease. So this is an interesting story related to this one. Then what is the actual story of the malaria? Malaria is a term which is derived from the two terms which are taken from the Italic words, and these two. Coming to the biology, most of the technical terms come across here from the Greek or Latin. But malaria is a one which is taken up from here the two Italian words. Coming to this here, the malaria is a combination of two Italic words. One, it includes mala. The meaning of the word mala is bad or a foul. And the second term here it is area. And that area means air. So here it is combination of these two words. Mala, which gives the meaning that foul or a bad, area that gives the here meaning that air. So why it was given to that? So in the earlier days, people were believed that the malaria is caused by a foul air or a bad air which is get produced from the marshy land areas. That is the reason why the term it was given to this disease as a malaria. So this is the here technical here word and the story behind that. Then who discovered this malaria first? The Charles Laverin, he was the scientist who discovered the amoeboid stage of this malaria in the human red blood cells. It was the first discovery done related to this disease. And this took place in the year 1880. that was given here clearly, and it was here discovered by, as I said, Charles Lavarin in the year 1880, and that too the amoeboid stage of this here parasite, it was first discovered particularly in human RBC, and this was done by here this great personality Charles Lavarin. Thereafter, the another scientist who explained the erythrocytic cycle, and the erythrocytic cycle, it was explained here by Camillo Golgi is the name of the scientist, and it was took place in the year 1885. And the name of the scientist, as I said, Camillo Golgi, in the year 1885 it was taken place. And here the stage of the life cycle in the parasite that was discovered by him is known as erythrocytic cycle. Here it is, erythrocytic cycle. Why it was given the name? Since the cycle of here process take place in the red blood cells of human beings or erythrocytes of a human beings. That is the reason why the name is given to that as erythrocytic cycle. Since the cycle was discovered by the Camillo Golgi, and this erythrocytic cycle, it was given the name as the Golgi cycle also. That you can see here. This is otherwise known as the Golgi cycle 2, since it was discovered by Camillo Golgi. Then another scientist here, he was actually discovered this vector of the disease, and that too it took place in India only. Sir Ronald Ross here is a person who discovered the vector of this parasite or the disease. And you know already the vector means. Vector is here a organism or agent here which transmits the disease from the infected person to a healthy one is known as a vector. So in the malaria case, the vector is nothing but the female Anopheles mosquito, and this mosquito transmits the disease from the infected person. If you here feel that he is an infected person, if the malaria parasite, it transmits to the body of this mosquito when it bites and sucks the blood of an infected person. The same infected here mosquito, when it bites here a healthy person, then the disease causing pathogen, it gets transmits into his body. So in this case, the female Anopheles mosquito is considered as a vector. And it was discovered by here Ronald Ross in the year 1887. There is a here link with this discovery and here India. And by that time actually he was the British doctor. India by the time of 1887 was under the rule of the Britishers. And here he worked as a doctor in Hyderabad, the current capital of Telangana. And he carried out a research on that, and finally here discovered that the malaria is get spread by the female Anopheles mosquito. Because of his research, even he was given the Nobel Prize also in this regard. So this is the link with our India regarding this disease. And next to this, when you see the three scientists, they do discovered about here the another important asexual cycle of the parasite that takes place in the mosquito. And here the three scientists, they do includes, one is a Grassi, and second one is here Begmani, and the third person is Bettinelli, or the three different scientists. Here Grassi, Bettinelli, in the year 1898, they do discover the asexual mode of reproduction. This asexual mode of reproduction takes place in mosquito. This asexual type of here reproduction takes place in a mosquito, and this asexual mode of reproduction is known as sporogamy. It's a very important point. This is, we call it as the sporogamy. This was actually discovered by these three important scientists. Among them, he is a prominent personality. That is the reason why here the sporogamy is named after the Grassi, so that it is known as Grassi cycle. The sporogamy, which is the asexual mode of reproduction that takes place particularly in mosquito, is given another term like a Grassi cycle. And next to him, you can see here the another person, Mac Coleman. And Mac Coleman is a person who discovered the sexual mode of reproduction. This is an important one. A sexual mode of reproduction of the Plasmodium was discovered by Mac Coleman, and that too it takes place in mosquito. So this was another important here discovery related to this one. And here finally, when you see, and this is also S short, E short, and along with him, Ganha is another person is also there. And in the year 1948, they do discover the sexual reproduction of this one that takes place here. Asexual reproduction of this parasite which takes place in the liver cells. It was discovered. This is known as hepatic schizogamy also. Hepatic schizogamy. This cycle is known as. Actually, it was discovered by here. He is shot. The another scientist. Took place in the year 1948. So this was the discovery related to this year. And